is where you have to show up for yourself and be like, I'm not gonna make you feel comfortable in order to make myself uncomfortable. Hey family, what's going on? It's your girl Tatiana Moss and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I talk about sexual wellness, fashion, lifestyle, career, and entrepreneurship advice. So if any of those things are interested to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so you can become part of the family too. And for my returning viewers, hey family, what's going on? Thank you so much for coming back and clicking on another video from your girl. So we are back at it again with another social work series. I haven't done one of these, I feel like, in a while on my channel, just because, you know, based on like the analytics and stuff like that, it seems like it's not really getting a lot of attraction. So if you guys are not interested in seeing, you know, the social work series, please let me know so I can, you know what other kind of content you guys do want to see. But I thought that it was, you know, pretty beneficial for people that are in the social work profession, and also not just the social work profession, because the things I talk about are topics related to all aspects of anybody in any walk of life, and you can apply what I use in these videos to your own life. So just to get that out the way or whatever, yeah, just leave me some feedback, guys, on what you guys think or whatever, some different topics or something of that sort, so I can know that this is something you're interested in. But anywho, today's topic of discussion we're going to be just talking about is identifying your triggers and how to be able to manage them a little bit better within yourself, and also if you are working with a client that gets triggered easily and things of that sort. If you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts on this, y'all know what to do. Give this video a thumbs up and let's get started. Okay, so the first step that I feel like is super important when it comes to helping yourself and others to work on your triggers is you got to identify them. What have you noticed that's a pattern in your life of something that really makes you feel uncomfortable? And this can be in your professional, this can be in an intimate relationship, or this can be in a platonic relationship. It's important to know that sometimes we have triggers in these three different areas in our lives. It's not just the intimate relationship where you're going to experience triggers. You're going to experience triggers sometimes in all those three areas. So I want you to sit and start identifying what triggers you. What are some things that you know, like, gets you upset? It takes you back to a place. Just a little background with myself. I have come to learn that I was carrying along my triggers for years and I didn't even realize it until a situation happened to me, and it came back up as almost if it had just happened again. It was like PTSD for me. And it was you know, it was a really hard situation to be in, because it was just like I felt like I was experiencing it all over again. I thought I had dealt with it and I didn't. And in that moment I realized, okay, Tatiana, you have to work through your triggers instead of maneuvering through it, if that makes sense. And when I say maneuvering, I feel like maneuvering is kind of like you're like working over, or maybe that's the wrong word, like I'm jumping over the issue instead of going through the issue. So when you learn to identify what is the thing that's particularly triggering you, that's when you can get to your next point, which is voicing your triggers to other people. So with this one, it's simple. If I know I get triggered by somebody, me by myself for too long or something of that sort, I'm gonna voice these opinions to somebody in all aspects. I'm gonna voice this to the professional in my life. I'm gonna voice this to intimate relationships in my life, friendships, all this. I'm gonna let these people know up front, hey, this kind of stuff triggers me, like, and so they're able to understand you a little bit better. And it's their choice whether or not they're going to respect your triggers or not. And then it's on you to determine, is this somebody I want to continue to keep in my life even after they disrespected the triggers that I just told them makes me feel uncomfortable? We have to think about this. Which brings me to my next point. Stop allowing others to stay in your life longer to make them comfortable. Now, this can be in so many different aspects, but we'll just use examples. I'm big on examples because for me, I feel like I can visually see it better. So if I go and tell somebody one of my triggers is being ghosted, I'm talking to somebody, I'm telling them, hey, in my past I've been ghosted or whatever, and you know, that's something that is very triggering for me, and that's a deal breaker for me. Like, if you go a week or 2 weeks without speaking to me or communicating with me, that's it, like, it's done. And this person is like, okay, they're taking it in, blah, 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 everything's going great. And then next thing you know, what does this person do? They ghost you. So now you have to literally show them. This is where you have to show up for yourself and be like, I'm not going to make you feel comfortable in order to make myself uncomfortable. if this is the version of you that you showed me, of who you are, I have to believe that and I have to move accordingly. So therefore, if you ghosted me and I told you that ghosting me triggered me, now you have to be exited out of my life. I cannot make excuses for it, because I've done this in the past before. Oh, well, maybe the person was too busy. Maybe they were trying to get themselves together. All of these different things. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay, we all go through some ish. But when you're an adult, you have to learn it's a time and a place for everything. You don't just sit up here and walk out on your job, do you? So why would you do that to somebody else, especially somebody that you claim that you cared about or whatever? So it brings it back to the simple point of, if this is something that you know is a deal breaker or a trigger for you, then you have to let that person go. Even if they try to spin a block, you got to show people how to treat you. No, I told you straight up that this is something that triggers me, and now I don't trust the fact of you being in my life, because now you showed me exactly what you are, and that's okay. Like, people got to realize, hey, we are all free to do what we want to do, but guess what, it's up to me to determine, do I want to continue to have this person in my life? Okay, so definitely keep that in mind whenever you're trying to, you know, figure out your triggers and things of that sort. Like, don't allow people to stay in your life longer than they deserve to, especially when they know certain things trigger you and they purposely do them anyway. Those are the worst kind of people in the world, if you ask me. So yeah. Okay, so the next tip that I would say is learning how to control your response after the fact. So kind of a little bit, I already discussed it, what I said. Like, if I know something triggers me and then I allow this person to come back in my life, not showing them positive way of me responding to this trigger. So in order for you to learn how to do that, you're gonna have to, you know, come up with a plan, which is another point as well. Come up with a plan of different things that you can do when you get triggered. So say, like I said, being ghosted is triggering. So maybe I might go and do some self-care. I might go and vent to a friend. I might go and journal and write it out. I'm writing out in that journal entry like what I would say to that person if I was actually able to talk with them, because I didn't get a chance to because they ghosted me. But, you know, just writing it down on a piece of paper, how I felt, you know, and what I would say to that person out in their face. Rip it up and throw it away. It's kind of like you're allowing yourself to get it out, even though you're not physically saying it to the person. Mentally, you're telling your mind, I'm getting this out of my system. So coming up with different strategic ways to deal with your triggers is another way to help you too, because now you know moving forward that you're not going to allow others to control how you move when it comes to being triggered. Ball is not going to be in their court, it's going to be in yours, because you have things in place that you're going to utilize so you don't allow this person to continue to keep triggering you. Remove yourself. That's always my best advice. But at the same time, you also got to deal and heal with your situations. You can't just keep going through life and existing. You want to live. You want to be able to actually experience stuff. And that's why I was talking about earlier when I was discussing, like, when I thought I had dealt with one of the things that happened to me that was like kind of a little traumatic, and another situation came up that was similar, and I broke down and things of that sort because I didn't really deal with it. I thought I had dealt with it. I kind of just swept it under the rug and I kept it pushing. And so whether you deal with it now or later, you're gonna have to deal with your triggers. And I feel like the earlier the better, because while it's still fresh, you're able to kind of get everything out and all of that good stuff and be able to process it much better than years later. And now you're like, God dang, I gotta go back 5, 6 or whatever many years plus to figure out what happened and why I felt that way in that moment and all that extra stuff. Okay, the last thing I would suggest whenever you're dealing with learning your triggers, identifying your triggers, all that good stuff, is getting professional help. Now, I know everybody cannot afford therapy, but you have YouTube, you have TikTok now, you have all of these different outlets where you're able to get a professional standpoint for somebody. Heck, y'all even got me. Like, y'all can watch my videos and be able to get some type of therapy or something of that sort. Whatever the case may be, I just always encourage people to get professional help, because it's cool to talk to your friends and family and things of that sort, but sometimes they're not going to be able to give you that solid advice you need, especially when something is super traumatic. You do need to go through and get some professional help. I'm sorry, like I feel like you need to. Some people think otherwise. It's okay, everybody has their own opinion, but I feel like if something truly traumatic has happened to you, you need to go get professional help, because when I tell you, you will literally carry that thing around like a bag all throughout your life, and then you thinking that the bag is gone, and every time you turn around you trying to figure out why is myself so heavy? It's because you're carrying all them bags. Erykah Badu said it best in Bag Lady. One day, all them bags don't get in your way. I don't know if it's just me either, but that song hit different now that I'm an adult. Like, I just don't know. Like, Erykah Badu definitely was talking her ish in that song. She was giving it to us real and raw, and my God, like, y'all gotta, as an adult hearing that song, it just truly makes sense. But I'm getting off track. But anyways, yes, just go get professional help, y'all. Go get professional help. Always gonna be a huge advocate for that, because I feel like it's needed to complete your healing journey, or to make it a more better rounded journey. Alright, y'all, and that's pretty much it. I am going to go ahead and leave you guys with a question, as I always do at the end. I want you guys to list one thing that you feel like is a trigger for you. Now, I know this might be a little difficult because some people don't want, you know, think people in their business, but if you're open for it, I would definitely love if you comment that down below. I'll go ahead and list one of my triggers now. I said it earlier in the video. Being ghosted, that's a trigger for me. Like, I've learned now in my 26 years of living, being ghosted is a trigger. If somebody does something of that sort to me, I have to remove myself, because if not, I'm doing myself a disservice in the long run. I'm continuing to stay in something in a place where I feel like I'm being disserviced. So I would definitely, like I said, love if you guys just list one thing that you feel like that you've learned over time is your triggers. And sometimes it takes a while too. Like, I had these situations happening to me for a while, but it took me a while to actually put a name on it and figure out what my triggers were. So that's another thing too. So again, you know, comment it down below. What is one of your triggers that you've learned about yourself? Let's start some convos down below. Again, if you guys like the Social Work series, please make sure to let me know as well if you guys are interested in me talking about a certain topic. This can be personal, professional, intimate, all of that. Like, I want to give you guys a standpoint from a social worker's perspective, kind of help you a little bit more with your journey and whatever it is that you feel like that you need. So like I said, yeah, comment that down below. But anyways, let me get off of this video, because y'all know I get to talking. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you still ain't subscribed to the family yet, what are you waiting on? Click on that red subscribe button down below before leaving out. Thank you guys so much for continuing to rock and support your girl, and you already know I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.